The necklace tore from my neck with a sharp snap, the chain biting into my skin like a venomous whisper. I gasped, my hand flying to the raw spot on my collarbone, as little Emily's chubby fingers clutched the pendant triumphantly. Her innocent eyes sparkled with mischief, but her words, oh those words, slashed deeper than any physical wound. "Mom says it's from the flea market," she chirped, dangling the antique gold locket like a worthless trinket. The room froze. Forks hovered mid-air, wine glasses paused at lips, and my sister's face, Sarah's face, paled beneath her perfectly applied blush. In that instant, fury ignited in my chest, a scorching blaze that threatened to consume me whole. How dare she? How dare my own blood poison her child against me, turning a cherished heirloom into a punchline? The dinner table, laden with roast chicken glistening under the chandelier's warm glow, suddenly felt like a battlefield. The scent of garlic and rosemary, once comforting, now turned acrid in my nostrils. My brother-in-law, Tom, chuckled nervously, trying to diffuse the moment. "Kids say the darndest things, right, Lena?" But I barely heard him. My gaze locked on Sarah, who averted her eyes, fiddling with her napkin as if it held the secrets of the universe. Secrets. That's what this was about. Layers of deceit I'd ignored for years, bubbling up like bile. The locket wasn't from some dusty flea market stall. It was our grandmother's, passed to me on her deathbed because she saw in me the strength Sarah lacked. Or so I'd believed. Now, Emily's words echoed in my mind, a childish echo of Sarah's venomous whispers. I forced a smile, the kind that doesn't reach the eyes, and gently pried the necklace from Emily's grasp. "Sweetie, that's not quite right. This was Nana's special gift to me." My voice trembled, betraying the storm inside. Heartbreak clawed at my throat. Heartbreak for the innocence lost, for the family bonds frayed beyond repair. Sarah finally met my gaze, her lips parting in feigned surprise. "Oh, Em, I never said that. You must have misheard." But the lie hung heavy in the air, thick as the steam rising from the mashed potatoes. I knew better. Sarah had always resented me. The older sister who got the promotions, the stable life, the heirlooms. She'd married young, popped out kids, and buried her ambitions under PTA meetings and soccer practices. Resentment had festered into something darker, something that now spilled out through her daughter's mouth. As the evening dragged on, I retreated into myself, the conversation around me blurring into white noise. The clink of silverware against plates grated like nails on a chalkboard. Inside, denial warred with rage. Maybe Emily made it up, I thought, grasping at straws. But no, kids don't invent specifics like that. Sarah had planted the seed, watering it with her jealousy until it bloomed into this public humiliation. Humiliation that burned hotter with every sympathetic glance from our parents, every awkward shift in Tom's seat. By dessert, apple pie with its flaky crust crumbling like my composure, I was seething. Obsession took root. Fantasies of confronting her, of screaming the truth until her facade cracked. But no, that was too easy. Too merciful. Revenge whispered in my ear, a seductive siren promising justice. That night, back in my quiet apartment, the city lights flickering through rain-streaked windows, I paced the hardwood floors. The necklace lay on my dresser, its locket open to reveal the faded photo of Nana and me as a child. Heartbreak twisted into resentment as I replayed the scene. Sarah's pale face, her quick denial, guilty as sin. I poured a glass of whiskey, the amber liquid burning down my throat, mirroring the fire in my veins. Why now? I wondered. We'd been civil for years, our sibling rivalry buried under holiday cards and forced smiles. But lately, whispers of her financial troubles had reached me. Tom's job loss, mounting debts, the house teetering on foreclosure. Had she eyed my necklace as a quick fix? Or was this just the tip of a deeper betrayal? Sleep evaded me, my mind a whirlwind of inner conflict. Guilt nipped at the edges, she's family. Blood. But cold resolve hardened my heart. I sat at my laptop, the screen's blue glow casting shadows on the walls, and began digging. Subtle at first. Checking her social media, where perfect family photos masked the cracks. Then deeper. Public records, old emails. Doubt crept in. Am I paranoid? Overreacting to a child's slip? But no, the evidence mounted. A year ago she'd borrowed money from our parents, claiming it for Emily's braces, but I'd seen the new designer bag slung over her shoulder at Easter. Manipulation layer by layer. And the necklace. Nana's will had specified it for me, but Sarah had contested it quietly. Her lawyer's letter tucked away in Dad's files. I'd forgiven it then, chalking it up to grief. Now it felt like premeditated theft of my legacy. By dawn, the city awakening with honking taxis and the distant rumble of garbage trucks, obsession had fully gripped me. I imagined her downfall, exposing her lies to the family, watching her squirm as the truth unraveled. But fear tempered my plans. Fear of becoming the villain, of shattering our fragile family unit. Moral conflict raged. Revenge or forgiveness? Justice or mercy? I stared at my reflection in the mirror, eyes bloodshot, jaw set. The woman staring back was a stranger, fueled by a cold resolve that chilled me to the bone. Days blurred into a haze of quiet calculation. At work, my marketing job became a facade, my mind elsewhere. I smiled at colleagues, pitched campaigns, but inwardly plotted. Subtle hints emerged, a cryptic text to Sarah. Heard about the flea market comment. Funny, huh? Met with radio silence. Tension built like a storm cloud, heavy and ominous. Then, at our weekly family brunch, the next shoe dropped. Sarah arrived late, her makeup smudged, eyes darting. Lena, about last dinner. Emily's just imaginative. Her voice was honeyed, but I detected the underlying manipulation. Imaginative like her mom. I replied coolly, sipping coffee that tasted like ash. Tom's gaze flickered between us, sensing the undercurrent. Our parents exchanged worried looks, the aroma of bacon and eggs soured by the unspoken rift. That afternoon, alone in the park, leaves crunching underfoot in the crisp autumn air, I uncovered the betrayal's core. A forgotten email from 2 years back. Sarah begging me for a loan, which I'd given freely. But attached was a photo. Her wearing a necklace eerily similar to mine. No, not similar. Identical. My heart pounded. Zooming in, the details matched. The engraved initials on the back, the slight dent from Nana's fall. Oh. Panic surged, then clarity. She'd duplicated it. Or worse, switched it. The real heirloom, worth thousands, perhaps pawned to cover her debts. Humiliation morphed into heartbreak anew. She'd stolen not just an object, but my trust, my memories. Resentment boiled over. I confronted her that evening, driving to her suburban home where porch lights cast long shadows. The door opened to Sarah's wary face, the scent of laundry detergent wafting out. "What are you doing here?" she hissed, glancing over her shoulder. Inside, Emily played with dolls, oblivious. "The necklace," I demanded, voice low but laced with fury. "You told her it was cheap. But it's not mine anymore, is it?" Her eyes widened, guilt flashing before she composed herself. "You're crazy. It's always been yours." But her denial cracked, tears welling. "You don't understand. We were drowning in bills. Hey, I sold a replica. Yours is fine." Wait, I knew it in my gut. Pushing past her, I stormed to her bedroom, rifling through drawers amid her protests. There, in a jewelry box, lay the real locket, appraised value scribbled on a pawn slip. She'd switched them years ago, feeding me a fake while pocketing the cash. Betrayal hit like a gut punch. "How could you?" I whispered, tears blurring my vision. Sarah collapsed on the bed, sobbing. "I was desperate. You had everything. I just needed a break." Her motivations spilled. Jealousy of my success, resentment at Nana's favoritism, a twisted sense of entitlement. But her tears didn't soften me. They fueled the obsession. That night, back home, the city skyline mocking my isolation, I planned. Not impulsive rage, but calculated vengeance. I'd expose her, but slowly, letting her paranoia build. First, anonymous tips to Tom about her secrets. Then, to our parents. Guilt nod, she's my sister. This will destroy her. But cold resolve won. The pursuit had begun. The weeks following the confrontation stretched like taut wires, humming with unspoken tension. I moved through life on autopilot, my apartment a sanctuary of shadows where plots unfurled. The necklace, the real one, now rested in my safe, reclaimed in a heated argument that left Sarah begging for forgiveness. But forgiveness? That ship had sailed, torpedoed by her betrayal. Anger simmered, a constant companion, bubbling up in quiet moments. The hiss of the kettle, the tick of the clock echoing my racing thoughts. I fantasized about her downfall, watching her perfect life crumble, piece by meticulously placed piece. Yet doubt lingered, a whisper in the dark. Am I becoming her? Twisted by resentment. Family gatherings became minefields. At Thanksgiving, the table groaned under turkey and stuffing, the air thick with cinnamon and forced cheer. Sarah avoided my eyes, her laughter brittle as she passed the gravy. Tom, sensing the rift, steered conversations to neutral ground. Sports, weather. But Emily, bless her unwitting role, piped up again. Aunt Lena, is your necklace real now? Innocence laced with confusion, planted by Sarah's hasty explanations. The room stilled, forks scraping plates like accusations. Our mother frowned. What does that mean? Sarah shot me a pleading glance, but I smiled serenely. Just a mix-up, Mom. Sarah can explain. The suspense built, her discomfort palpable, sweat beading on her forehead despite the cool room. Internally, moral conflict raged. Revenge feels justified, but at what cost? I pictured Nana's disappointed face, her voice echoing. Family first. Guilt twisted my gut, yet obsession pushed me forward. I started small. An anonymous email to Tom, linking to bank statements I'd hacked. Ethically gray but necessary. Wait, hack. No, I'd hired a discreet PI. His report delivered in a plain envelope, the paper crisp under my fingers. It revealed Sarah's gambling habit. Hidden credit cards maxed out on online slots. The betrayal deepened, not just against me but her family. Tom's trust, Emily's future, all sacrificed for her vices. The first crack appeared days later. A frantic call from Sarah. Her voice trembling over the phone line, crackling with static. Lena, did you tell Tom anything? He's asking questions about money. I feigned innocence, my heart pounding with a mix of thrill and fear. Why would I? Unless there's something to hide. Her silence spoke volumes, tension coiling like a spring. I hung up, the receiver cold in my hand, and stared out at the rainy streets below, cars slicing through puddles like knives. Pacing intensified. I mapped out the next steps in a leather-bound journal, entries scrawled in the dim light of my desk lamp. Subtle hints to our parents. A casual mention of Sarah's stress over finances during a phone call, planting seeds of worry. Then deeper, forged documents. No, too risky. Instead, I befriended her book club friends. Casual coffees turning into revelations. Sarah's been distant. One confided over steaming lattes, the cafe's espresso machine grinding in the background. Mentioned borrowing from family. Layers peeled back, her affairs, whispered rumors of infidelity to cope with the pressure. Heartbreak for Tom, but poetic justice for me. As winter gripped the city, snow blanketing the sidewalks in a deceptive purity, Sarah's paranoia peaked. She showed up at my door unannounced, coat dusted with flakes, eyes wild. Stop it, Lena. Whatever you're doing, stop. The confrontation unfolded in my living room, the fireplace crackling mockingly. You stole from me, I spat, suppressed rage finally erupting. Not just the necklace, my trust. She paced, hands wringing. I was weak. Please, for Emily's sake. Manipulation again, using her child as a shield. But her moral complexity shone through. A woman broken by envy, driven to desperation. Yet it didn't absolve her. The plan escalated. I arranged a reconciliation dinner at an upscale restaurant, Chandeliers twinkling like stars, the hum of conversations a backdrop to our drama. Family assembled. Parents, Tom, Emily fidgeting with her napkin. Wine flowed, loosening tongues. Midway through I dropped the bomb, subtly at first. "Sarah, remember Nana's necklace? Turns out the one I had was fake." Gasps rippled. Her face drained of color, fork clattering. "What?" Tom demanded. I produced the appraisal, papers rustling, the real locket gleaming under the lights. She switched them. Sold the original for her debts. Chaos erupted. Accusations flew, Sarah's denials crumbling under scrutiny. Tom stormed out, Emily in tears. Our parents, heartbroken, confronted her. "How could you?" The scene played like a film. Slow-motion devastation, the scent of garlic bread turning nauseating. Revenge tasted bittersweet. Obsession sated but guilt flooding in. Was this worth it? The family shattered. In the aftermath, alone in my apartment, the city silent under fresh snow, cold resolve wavered. Calls from Sarah begged for mercy, voicemails laced with sobs. Then the twist. A letter arrived, handwriting shaky. Inside, confessions, not just the necklace but deeper. Sarah had forged Nana's will addendum, trying to claim more. But worse, she'd discovered our father's affair years ago, used it to blackmail him for money. Layers upon layers. My revenge had unearthed a Pandora's box. Confronting Dad, the truth unraveled further. He'd covered for Sarah, enabling her out of guilt. The family web of secrets exposed, bonds irreparably frayed. In the end, poetic justice struck. Sarah lost everything, marriage, respect, but so did I. Isolation gripped me, the necklace now a cursed reminder. Revenge's price. A hollow victory, echoing with unexpected consequences. Heartbreak full circle, the pursuit ending not in triumph, but quiet regret.